Welcome to our podcast. Let's see what happens. And this podcast features two women with ADHD, and we talk about our life choices, maybe shed some light on life with ADHD, perhaps inspire. Probably not, though. Okay. What would you say you do here?
I need to switch to a different internet because my internet is slow. So hold, please. Okay, that should be better. I don't really know how the
Perfect.
internet works, but I just fixed it. So no big deal. I'm an internet mechanic.
I am
I
not
did it.
doubting you, nor am I going to be like, how did you do that? Because nobody knows.
Thank God.
And that's
No one
not the
knows.
point.
Nope.
Nobody ever knows
Uh,
anything.
no one. Definitely not us. Okay, so we're going to introduce ourselves today, which I think is a great idea. What do the
Yes.
people want to know about us?
I don't know, but if I introduce myself, because I spend so much time around kids, I'd be like, hi, I'm Natalie. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist and I like to play hockey. And then it would pass to the next person. But I don't know if that's how adults actually do it.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I can offer no help. Well, you can pass it to me. I'm Lauren Deely, and I spend a lot of time in Excel and helping people creatively pay less in taxes. And I also run really, really long distances at, I would say, a slowly increasing pace, but it's barely above a walk. No, that's not true. We're going to reframe that. I'm going to try again. I'm Lauren Deely, and I'm an outdoor cat trapped in an indoor job that I actually love. And I run really long distances. And I'm basically like whatever stereotypical white lady you imagine in Colorado, me. I bike and I
Mm.
run and I backcountry ski.
Your introduction was great. Now that I realize how to do it, I will do mine.
It's great. We're
Like an
teaching each
adult.
other.
My name is Natalie, and I'm a pediatric occupational therapist, which means that I work with kids who have trouble with regulation and processing. I am a mother of two wild boys. I have a problem. We have some school refusal going on. It's like,
You're amazing.
am I?
You are.
Back to my introduction.
You're doing great.
I'm
Everything
doing
okay?
so. One of my kids is neurodivergent, which basically just presents as a lot of anxiety. And especially after doing things on repeat, so
Mhm.
like school, that becomes a pretty big deal. And oftentimes we'll have just a flat out refusal where there's hiding and screaming and all the things. And he's not even in school full time. We've had to adapt, but today was hard. He doesn't feel well. And so if anything's not
Yeah.
perfect, it's really tricky.
Poor guy.
It's intense because then I'm sending them off, right? Anyway, so I
Yeah.
was saying I'm a mother of two wild boys. One of them is neurodivergent, which also gives me this interesting aspect of I work with kids and parents who are in the same boat. And then also I have my own experience. So before I had kids and after I had kids is like two completely different versions of Natalie as
Wow.
a human, as a therapist. Yeah, I live in Vermont and I'm pretty much the version of what you would picture someone being in Vermont looking like, dressing like.
You're not actively out there splitting wood right now.
That's true. I'm not hardcore, but if you looked at me, I feel like you'd be like, oh, I could see you living in Vermont. I wear sweatpants and I don't dress up. I like to do a lot of outdoorsy things and I
Mhm.
drink a lot of maple syrup. I literally am in this hyperfixation phase where I cook myself pancakes every single night. And I've been like, it will end, and it hasn't. It might be my longest hyperfixation ever. I'm going on 4 weeks of just
That's
eating pancakes. I know.
amazing.
No recipe, just throwing shit in, whatever I want. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that works. Are they always
Yes.
sweet pancakes?
Yes, they're dessert pancakes.
Amazing. It's the best thing
Yes.
you put in the pancakes.
Usually I do some version of chocolate chips, peanut butter, banana. That seems to be my go-to.
Okay.
They're good for me. When I feed them to the boys, there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, Mommy, what is this?
This
It
is
has so much
horrible.
stuff in it. Like,
Like,
tell me what you're making. I'm like, I don't know. I'll eat it if you don't eat it. I do not care.
it is a food item, child, okay? It is a food
Just
item that is made of other food items, and thus eat it.
You're good. This actually is a great segue into what we're
Mhm.
talking about today. That introduction, by the way, took us 15 minutes.
It was our first time, we're learning. Okay, the next one's gonna be much faster. What if we just
Yeah,
introduced ourselves a different way every time, and then we could
I think
learn.
we should.
I think that's a great idea. Maybe at the end of this, we would know how to introduce ourselves in real life to adults.
I cannot introduce myself to adults without being super weird. This is a good example before we get into our topic of today. The first day of school, I go in and there's new parents there. And I see the teacher who I knew from last year. And so instead of just waving hi and slowly walking up, I like stuck out my tongue and put my hands with my thumb out, my pinky out. And I was like, "Ah!" in front of 6 parents who do not know me, and that was their first experience. Like, I was at a rock concert, and everybody else was going to school.
Yeah,
And then when I got up to the teacher, I was like, "Why did I do that?" And she just looked at me and she goes, "I don't know."
I don't know. No other parent has ever done that in the history of
I
me teaching, and here we are.
Yeah. She was like, "That was just as confusing for me as it was for you." So clearly I need help introducing myself to adults.
We'll learn. This will be a real good ancillary benefit of our podcast is that you and I may have a shred of learning how to interact with other humans out in the world.
I feel
Good
like
luck.
we both have the same approach. Like, I can
Of
see you
course.
doing that also.
At one point, Natalie, recently, I saw someone that I knew on the street. So I was driving my car. I think that's an important data point here. And what would a normal person do? I don't know. But what I did is I was on the phone with my partner, Eric, and I just started screaming, "It's the Stearns! Oh God, the Stearns, the Stearns!" And then I was trying to roll down the window while driving and honking and screaming their name. I don't know. Most people might just pull over and be like, "Hey, good to see you guys." Not me. I had like it was some sort of apoplectic event where all the systems fired all at once while I was
Yeah.
driving a car, which is definitely not safe. And then I had to just circle around the block and like park and be like, I don't know what to do. How do I... Eric, of course, was like, just hang up the phone and I will call them. And
Yeah.
we could just talk to them like people.
Like adults.
Huh.
I've also gotten into this habit of when I see somebody of giving them the middle finger because I did it once to my neighbor
Yes.
and luckily he thought it was funny. And so then I've just applied it to all of my interactions and I can't seem to stop. People are like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Oh," with my middle finger up. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Like truly, you're close
I'm
enough to
like
Boston. It's
smiling.
fine.
People are like, "Are you waving? Are you
I'm getting
mad?"
mixed signals.
It's like my whole life, just sending mixed signals. That's basically what I do. So confusing to the world. Okay, so our topic today,
Speaking of confusing things,
speaking of very confusing things, is grocery stores.
no. I mean, they're good.
God. The last time I went to a real grocery store, and by real grocery store, I mean like a Shaw's, like a bigger grocery store, which isn't even that big because I live in Vermont, I cried because
Yeah.
I could not find the grated cheese, which should have been in the cheese section with the fancy cheeses, but it wasn't. And then
I don't
also I
even
couldn't figure out
know.
how to pay. So that's another thing. There's a couple
For
things.
the you couldn't pay for the cheese that you couldn't find.
Yeah, and so I just left it there. My Apple Pay wasn't set up yet
Oh
because I got this
God.
new phone like a month ago and I still didn't set up Apple Pay. So I went to pay and I couldn't. And it wasn't even the right cheese. And the guy was like, "Are you going to come back?" And I was like, "No." And I just started crying and walked away. And I'm sure
Um,
people were like, "That was weird."
my takeaway here, biggest question. You have Apple Pay? I haven't been able to figure out how
Yes.
that works for like 3 years.
Oh my God. Apple Pay is the only way I pay because I cannot carry around physical objects with me. Obviously, I can't carry a wallet. Anytime I use my husband's wallet, anytime, or his credit card, he's like, "Where's my credit card?" I'm like, "I'm going to go check my pants pocket in the wash."
Yeah.
Like, I cannot figure that out. So I use Apple Pay exclusively.
Okay, we're gonna have to have another learning session where you teach me how to use Apple Pay because oftentimes I just take my phone and like put it on top of the thing and then act confused, like I don't know why it's not working. Of course I know why it's not working. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this thing. I just watched someone else put their phone on top of it and thought maybe that'll work for me. Taken no steps to make sure that that would work. I don't even know how it works. Is there an app? Do I have to click something? Does the phone have to be on, off? I don't know.
With
My
Android, so yours
boyfriend,
is different.
okay,
It's still confusing. So I use it every time I make a purchase. And I'm still like, I have to double click the side, then I have to look in it. And then I'm like, is it Face ID first? Is it the button first? Because I have never spent the time to figure out the exact steps. So every time I'm like double click, then I hold it up to my face and it's like, "You're not close enough." So I hold it down. But usually the little pay thing is higher than my face because I'm so short. So then I'm standing on my tiptoes trying to get my face close to the thing, but I don't ever see anybody else doing that. I guess I could just Google this because this seems like a very solvable problem.
really? Because when you were explaining that, I was just staring at you slack-jawed thinking, I will never learn this.
Well, I'm making it a lot more. I think it's like first you get into the app, then you just put your phone on there. But I am unsure of the actual thing. So I do all of them. I cover all of my bases.
That's, you know what? That seems like a great solution. And it's working for you because, well, sometimes you buy things. Not that one time at the grocery store, though.
That's true. That was actually just, I had not set it up. Like I had no way to pay. I was payless.
I like walking into stores and then quite a while after that. Usually it happens at the grocery store because if I have the time to go to the grocery store, I've made the decision. I've gotten in my car. I've driven there. I'm so proud. I got to the grocery store. I'm in there and I'm starting to put things together. And then at some point, it dawns on me, I have no wallet. I just left the
Yeah.
house, rocked up, got in the car. Boom. Did I bring bags? My favorite question Eric asks, did you bring bags? No, of course I didn't bring bags. I brought myself. That was enough.
You know what I've gotten really good at? I have an entire bag of bags in the back of the car. Never once have I remembered to go out to the trunk because I have to open the trunk and get the bags. So I go into the grocery store, and usually I'm wearing some sort of inappropriate shirt, like a sweatshirt or something really baggy. And I'm just stuffing apples and things in there, which probably looks like I'm just really bad at stealing food. Just my pocket's full of food. I'm just carrying it, and I refuse to take a bag because I know I have bags in the car. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I have bags in the car. And they're always like, do you want to go get it? I'm like, I think I got it. And I'm just balancing bunches of things. And there's been so many times where I've made it out the double doors and the second thing of double doors. And then I step onto the sidewalk and a package of blueberries falls out of my hands, not surprisingly, hits the ground, just explodes. And I'm like, well, I guess that was on me.
Yeah. And the best part about this is it happens in front of carts. It happens in front of the vehicles that could eliminate the problem. But I'm with you. I did
I
this 3
cannot take a
times this
cart.
weekend.
I can't. It's too big. There's too many things. It feels very committal. I'm like, I don't want to push things. I want things just to land in my being so I can purchase them. Oh no, I can't take carts. You know how we have trouble going around corners?
Yes.
Carts, the extension of a cart in front of me is just like I am hitting everything I could possibly hit. Like
Yeah.
it's like a little bouncy ball, just banging off the sides of the aisles. Who knows?
Where are you going to put produce in that thing? It's just going to destroy all of the produce. In my mind, the
Yeah.
cart is mostly made of razor blades. And if I put, like, I don't know, a zucchini on there, it's just going to slice it. Or it's going to bruise the nice fruit that I got. And then I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to smash some greens. What am I going to do with
That's
that?
a real problem because the
Yeah.
produce section is usually the first thing. So I put all of the really soft things on the bottom. And then because of the ADHD brain, I'm like, oh, I could use this random thing that I probably have never eaten in the past 5 years. And I'm just piling heavy shit on top of them. And half the time, when I find those poor little sad vegetables at the bottom, they are so scarred and just like, why did you do this to us? And I'm like, well, sorry, veggie.
They're like, I flew here all the way from fucking Peru, and you couldn't manage to get me to your car without destroying me? Do you
And
know
they're
the
always
journey
like,
I've been on? What is wrong with you?
the people at the checkout, I feel, are always like, "Do you want to go get another one?" And I'm like, "No, no, it's okay. I did this. You didn't do this. I'm gonna take responsibility. I damaged
I
this.
broke it, so I have to
This
buy
is
it.
not you. I did not find it like this. I
So,
did this."
yeah, I have encountered this, and thus it is now ruined. Yeah, I feel you. Fuck, I think there was one other thing that I was gonna say about this whole cart. Oh, my other favorite thing about this, not only do I not understand how to pack the cart appropriately, but I try every time because I do get carts because I can't be held responsible for not taking more things than I can carry. I'll take more things than I can carry, and then I'm in the store and I've dropped a glass jar of things, and now there's cleanup on
Yeah,
aisle 7, and I'm just standing there and I can't help because I'm holding all my other things. My arms are full and I can't put them down because I won't remember which things are mine, even though,
yeah,
they're incongruous with the other things in the aisle. So no, I'm just standing there staring at the mess that I've made, being like,
yeah. Little help.
sorry, someone help me, please. But then I get to the checkout aisle and now I have opinions about how things should be bagged. Why?
Mm,
Why? There is literally a professional bagger. There's a person who spends all day putting people's shit into bags, either bags they brought or bags that the store is giving them. That's all they do all day. They know how things go in a bag. Not in my mind. I'm like, I got ideas. Today, we're going to put all these items together. These are like items. Are they, Natalie? Certainly not. There's some produce, there's some candy, there's some frozen things. And I'm like, those are the things that go together. Why? I don't know. They were all kind of blue. They were blue items. What?
No, I feel you because when I go to check out, I feel like they start putting things in, and I'm like, oh, no, no, I'm going to eat that in like 2 hours. I need that at
Yeah.
the top because for some reason, when I get home, the way that I unpack it seems to have to correlate with the way that I'm going to eat it in that order.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, no, no, I'm going to snack on that. Or a lot of times I go to the grocery store hungry. So I'm like, I need lots of snackies. So these
Yeah.
5 items have to be at the top because I'm going to immediately eat them.
Yeah. Oh, does anyone here go to the store and not eat food on the way home? That's the
Oh
whole
my God.
reward for going to the store is you get to
That
get
is
the
the
treat
reward.
for the car that you eat
Yeah.
and no one else. That is your time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Don't judge me, world.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. And I can't wait to eat it. I'm running out to the car with my things in my arms. And then comes the keys. Can't open the
Yeah.
car. Put my things in
Usually
there.
I befriend a poor stranger and I'm like, oh, hello, miss. Little help. I didn't think this through. This is clearly the first time I've ever done this. Could you please open the door for me?
But you like going into your pocket and getting your keys. You're like left side. Just fish around in there. Fine.
Usually I can open it from outside of my pocket where the key's still inside because I have that is a skill that I need. So I've mastered it. But then my arms are so full I cannot open the door.
I see.
So
Yes.
usually I'm like, could you please open this for me? And never once has someone been like, no, bitch. Even though they should, because I'd probably learn my lesson. Actually, probably not. You know, the other thing I hate about grocery stores, it is an overwhelming number of choices. And within that, to find a specific brand of a specific thing takes so much effort for me that
Horrible.
it's very overwhelming. The whole thing is overwhelming. And then you add on top of that a list.
No. Just
I
no.
have a lot of problems with lists.
Yeah.
Most of the
I'm good
time,
at
I
making
go to
them.
this I wouldn't even credit myself with that. But most of the time I go to the store, I have my husband make a list. I forget the list, or I'm like, I hate lists. Or I put it in my pocket and I'm like, later list, stupid
Goodbye.
list.
You're
For
dead to
some
me.
reason, you are dead to me. And I
Yeah.
wish you never had existed.
Don't tell
And
me
then
what to
I'm
do.
like, that's what it is. I'm like, list. I'm smarter than you, piece of paper, fucker. So then I go into the store and I'm like, hey, what were we going to have? Oh, spaghetti? I wonder what we need for that. And I generate my own list. But on the way, there's a million other items to distract me that I might need. I could need bananas. I could need cookies. Oh, I need cereal. Who knows? There's an infinite number of things I need. And 9 times out of 10, I would say 9.9 times out of 10, I check out with 100 items, three of which I needed, two
Mhm.
of which are the wrong thing. I'm supposed to get pasta sauce. I got, I don't know, some other kind of sauce that I was like, what is red? They're like, that's jam.
You're like, but same size jar. Same size. Now you have a giant jar of jam, like a pasta
Just like,
sauce sized jar
yeah.
of jam. Perfect.
And I'm always like, gosh, what do we need? And there's usually a couple go tos that I always think we need, but because I always think we need them, I have so many of them. Just
Yeah.
an infinite number of that item that clearly we don't really eat.
My problem with this is things for the shower. We have a whole closet of soaps and body washes and
Oh,
things. Why? I know when I go into the store that this closet exists, but then one of them looks neat or smells good, or is like, ooh, this is a new fun Miss Myers smell. And I'm like, well, gotta get that. I touched it. I also think,
yeah.
have you ever gone to the store with another person and tried to divide and conquer, where they're like, I'm going to get the apples and the peanut butter, and you're going to get the pasta and sauce. And then you walk around the store for 40 minutes just repeating in your head, pasta and sauce, pasta and sauce, pasta and sauce, without ever actually getting pasta and sauce.
Nobody does this with me anymore because they know I'm a lost cause. It's not even attempted. Because I just was on a girls' trip this weekend and we go into the store, and the other two were like, I'll get this and I'll get this. And for me, nobody was like, Natalie, get this. I walked into the store, I got lost, and I thought they'd left. I texted them and I was like, where did you go? Every time I go into a store with someone, I immediately am by myself. Like, where do I go versus everybody else? Like, it's a box. I don't understand. I get
What
in
are
there
they
and I'm
doing?
alone.
Yeah,
Clearly I'm not
I
supposed to
agree
be
with you.
alone. So then I'm down this random aisle of fun things and I'm like, oh, I could use this cereal that has a bunch of food dye and a lot of sugar because I've never tried it. I deserve that. And I'm just gathering things. And when I finally meet my friends, maybe at checkout, I don't know, they're like, what did you get? And I'm like, I don't know. What did you get? They're like, what
I'm
we
not
were supposed
sure.
to get. I'm like, what was I supposed to
The
get?
two things that we talked about getting. You were
Heaps to
supposed to get
actually
not
eat.
lost. Yeah. You were supposed to just not get lost, but you did. So good job. Yeah. At this point, Eric and I, if we go into the store together, he now has a check before we get into the store where he looks at me and goes, did you bring your phone? And I'm always like, no, I didn't even bring it in the car. It's at the house. And he's just like, how will I find you? Because it is an inevitability that you are going to get lost. You're going to get lost. I will have no idea where you are. I will have completed the shopping mission because I'm an adult who can do things like follow a list or get food items that we're supposed to eat. And you're going to be wandering around wondering what's a dragon fruit. And then somehow you'll end up on your phone that you had the whole time, even though you thought it was at home, Googling what's a dragon fruit.
That's literally I go
But
into
here,
grocery stores and I just get lost. And also, even when I'm by myself, all I end up doing is like talking to everybody because I live in Vermont. I go to
Yeah.
one tiny grocery store because I can't handle big stores. So everybody knows me. And so, or at least I
Mhm.
think they do. I talk to them like they know me and enjoy my company. And so I'm like, oh, hey, meat counter guy. And hey, and then that also derails me more. So by the time I get to the
On.
checkout, because I'm hungry, I have like 5 boxes of cookies and 2 bags of candy fish. And I was supposed to buy dinner, and all I got was a piece of broccoli. What am I doing? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Not
And
even
you
me.
Yeah, and you fixated on which piece of broccoli because somehow all of them had too many stems, and then you were trying to figure out like which one actually had broccoli but not stem. And yeah, I feel
Yeah.
you. Let's talk about Natalie. How do you decide what checkout line to go to?
Oh, okay. So this is actually a great story. I no longer do this for the record, but somehow when I was growing up, so I'm in Vermont, so we had this little grocery store, which I feel like was manageable growing up and still would be manageable today if it existed. And there were 3 checkout lines. And somehow when I was shopping with my mom, I thought that the number of items you had when you were checking out had to correlate with the aisle number. So if you had one item, you would go to aisle one. If you had 3 items or more, you would go to aisle three, or like the highest. If there were five, there was only 3 aisles. So I only had options one, two, and three. Who goes to the grocery store just to get one item? I don't know, or even two. I'm not sure. So usually it was aisle three plus because I'm going with an actual adult who's making actual food for actual people in a family. So I go to college, and this is my first interaction with my new roommate. And somehow we chose to go to the store. And I thought this
Reasonable.
was an okay thing for me to do. So we're about to check out, and maybe it was like a Walmart or something. Let's say we had 4 items. And so I was like, we have to go to aisle four. And my roommate started going over to another aisle. And I was like, no, no, you have to go to aisle four. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, because we have 4 items, obviously. Duh. And I will never forget her face just looking at me. And she was like, Nelly, what are you talking about? And I was like, the number of items you have has to correlate to the aisle number. Otherwise, it would just be like chaos. People would be like, whoa, I don't know how to check out. I don't know. I'm not sure what would happen, but it would be bad if people
Yeah,
didn't follow this system. And she was like,
rule
Nelly,
bending.
that does not exist. And I had this moment of my entire life for like 18 years of following this system of aisle to items consistently. And I called my mom there, and I was like, Mom, why did you tell me that I had to follow this rule with the number of items I have has to correlate to the aisle number? And she was like, Nelly, I never told you that. And I was like, yes, you did. She was like, no, why would I tell you that? That doesn't exist. And I was like, well, anyway, new roomie. Feel like we're
Question.
really getting along here, and I'm making a good impression. I feel like it's one of those things where, to make sense of the world, I often create my own rules. I don't necessarily like following other people's rules or
No.
society's rules, but
Reference the
going
list.
into the grocery store, I'm like, oh, clearly this makes sense, and I will adhere to that, and I will not deviate from it. Nor will I ask if it's actually true. I'll just believe it.
Mm-mm. Yeah. No, you can't be asking because it is true. That is the
Yeah,
rule of the world. I'm just going to say 2 words, 3 words. It's 4 words. I'm going to
you
say
got this.
grocery store parking lot.
Oh, God.
Is this
Oh my god. It immediately went over my eyes. Like I can't even grocery store parking lots are so hard for me.
That is my personal hell. If I'm a bad person and hell exists and I go there, it's just me trapped in a supermarket parking lot. God forbid it's in a strip mall or
Oh,
large complex with other stores.
oh
I am
my
not
god.
built for that. Eric and I were in the car the other day. We went to the grocery store and we get back to the car. Thank God there were two of us because I'm just carrying things. And I was like, thank God the car opener guy is here. He's opening the car, getting the items in there. I'm like
Thank
super
God someone
duper,
invited this guy.
right? Look at this car opening theory. Amazing. So I'm driving and I get in the driver's seat and I just pull out and start making decisions about which little lane I'm going in. And Eric just goes, where are you going? And I was like, I'm trying to get out of here. And he was like, you didn't even come in this way. Why are we over in this part of the lot? And I was like, I don't know. I honestly, and this is what came out of my mouth. I go, when I go into grocery store parking lots, they're like a mind eraser. I don't know anything anymore.
Oh my god. No, it's so true. Thank God I live in a state where I don't have to go to strip malls, because when I go into strip mall with multiple stores, it's like I drive and
No.
there's usually a lot of parking spaces right there. But it's so hard for my brain to make a decision. I'm like, well, I don't think I can park there because I'm more than 10 feet away from the entrance. And it's like I have to calculate it out. But it is a terrible calculation. And there's other people and people going slow and backing up. And it's just,
Oh,
what are they doing?
yeah.
What are people doing in those
I have
lots?
no idea. I have no idea. And why am I
It's
always
so
going the wrong
chaotic.
way?
Yeah, why can I never leave? I got my shit and I want to leave. Why am
Yeah.
I not leaving?
Where did
Where am I
where
going?
did the exit go? I know I came in here somehow. Can I find it again? Absolutely not. Even in the grocery store parking lot that we go to all the time, like our normal local grocery store, and we live in like a not like a Vermont small town, but we don't live in a big town. We go to the same grocery store. It has, for some reason, like 4 entrances and exits, and like I can never pick the same one. I don't
Yeah,
think I've
no, that's
ever
hard.
gone in and out the same way. And
Yeah,
I also don't think I've ever like the little arrows that are painted on the ground, 100% of the time the arrow is pointing at me because I am
yeah,
going the wrong
always.
way.
And I'm
Always.
always like, well, if someone's coming the other way, that's on them, honestly,
Yeah,
because I was here first. And fuck that
100%.
arrow. It's
And
supposed
like,
to be going my way. Just
yeah,
whatever way I'm going, it's supposed to change and just go that way.
I am
I
making the
am
right choice.
always going the wrong way.
Always. How do people like what is
How'd you do
happening?
that?
What is happening inside someone's brain to think that the other way, their way, is the right way? It makes no sense to me. So
No
basically,
sense.
Eric and I are in the car now, and we're literally just driving around the perimeter of the parking lot, and I'm making wild choices. Like suddenly, without warning, I'll be like, "Oh, I gotta go down this lane," and Eric's like, "What? Why? You're not. You're going away from the road now." And I'm like, "That way was bad. Couldn't go that way anymore." It's like now we're at a
This is
GameStop.
Oh
Like,
my god. Yeah. This is very similar to how I feel like I operate within the grocery store. I go to the same little grocery store every time and still even there's maybe 4 or 5 aisles because I can't handle a grocery store that has more than that. And I can't remember where anything is. Like half the time I'm like, where are your taco shells that I get every Tuesday? I don't know. Anything that's up higher than my line of vision does not exist every
yeah.
single time. Every
Have you
time I
ever
can't.
looked up there though? Like a magical land. Like one day I encourage you, next time you find yourself accidentally in a grocery store, just walk around looking up there. There's like all kinds of stuff up on the top shelf. Yeah. Welcome to one trip to the grocery store for me where I was just like, wow, there's ball jars and there were like camping chairs up there one time. It
Wow.
was wild. Yeah. It was wild. It was a
Wild.
whole other universe.
Yeah, grocery stores and following lists are really hard. There's been many times that I have been tasked with going to the grocery store to feed the family for dinner.
Mhm.
And I've come back. One time I came back with kale and one other random item, no meat, like nothing. And then instead of making dinner, I was like, okay, boys, we're going to make some muffins. And I was like, we're gonna make chocolate chip muffins. So then we go through the whole thing, and I was like, oh shit, my husband's gonna be home really soon. I'm like, quick, get these muffins in the oven so it looks like we've actually been doing dinner. Couldn't find the chocolate chips. I was like, so just put these muffins in. Didn't follow a recipe. Totally deviated from it. Muffins were terrible. And then when Todd came back, he was like, what are we having for dinner? And I was like, well, I got kale, and he was like, oh, I think it was like cheese. He was like, so we're gonna have kale and cheese for dinner? I was like, well, yes, that is what I chose. And I think we have some eggs in there and maybe some like leftover lunch meats. I think we had pancakes for dinner that night. Like I just couldn't. It is so hard for me to plan all of the parts of a meal. Like usually the produce section is first. So usually I get a vegetable. And then I'm like, well, that was hard. And then my brain's just like too hard.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can stare at the meats and I'm like, what do people do with these meats? Do they, I mean, I know they eat them, but for me to sit down and cook them and have a recipe, and it's so bad. It is so bad. I cooked the other night for the boys and I was like, I am going to kind of stir fry these vegetables. And I gave them to the boys. My youngest just learned the word shit, which is great. So he's 6 and he goes, Mommy, these vegetables taste like shit. And I was like, okay, well, you're not wrong. However, there's a lot of issues with that sentence. Also, don't say that word. I understand, but I'm going to need you to eat the vegetables anyway. And I'm just not very good at them, but I tried really hard. It was just like, I'm like, oh my God. Every time I cook for them, they're like, oh God, so gross. But we need to eat. We're so hungry. I just can't. I can't do it.
I really like the idea that your solution to this is both get your kids to just feel sorry enough for you that they eat the vegetables. Like you've raised them to be like good, kind, polite people, and they're just like, oh, all right, we'll eat the shit vegetables. That's fine.
Oh my god,
That is
it is
amazing.
so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And half the time I cook, after going to the store and getting three random things like rice, broccoli, and a piece of chicken, then I
Balanced
cook
meal.
them. Yeah, it's thank you. And Todd's usually like, "Oh, yummy." You can just tell everyone's like, "Oh my god, what is going on with this food?" I'm like, "I don't know. You sent me to the grocery store. You expected me to do things there and come back with this whole list, with the list
Ugh,
telling me what to do."
no.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then I have to get
Mm-mm.
the stuff out of the bags, organize them, then get them out again for dinner and plan a meal and follow a recipe. That's so many things.
Yeah. And you glossed over a lot of things that had multiple sub steps.
I did.
Yeah. Also, hearing that, I don't think I ever realized that a trip to the grocery store is just an exercise in like taking things out of where they are, putting them into another thing, like the cart or our hands, then taking them out of that thing and putting them into another thing, the checkout aisle. Oh my God. And when the stupid belt, when they don't stop the belt, and now
Oh
the
my god.
cilantro is like getting smashed into a can of coconut milk, right? No, now that's why I have to go throw that cilantro away. Can't eat it anymore. I don't know why,
Oh
but
my
it's
god.
bad now. Anyway,
It's
so you're
bad.
just taking things out, putting them back, taking things out, putting them back, taking things out, putting them back. That's all it is, you know?
It is
I
so
really feel
silly.
like,
And I didn't even touch on the self checkout part of things,
oh
which is
God, no,
a nightmare. When
no.
it's like, how many items do you have? I'm like, you tell me, bitch. Don't talk to me like that.
Oh my God, our local grocery store, presumably in some sort of fucked up cost saving measure, shuts down the human run checkout aisles
Oh
at
my
like
god.
4 p.m. And so at 6 o'clock on a Sunday, which in our area is like peak grocery store time, the whole town is at the grocery store. Now there's people with like whole carts filled with food going to the self checkout
Oh,
aisle. We're like, did you weigh your cilantro? Oh my God. The number of times I walk up to the stupid thing and it just immediately starts flashing, attendant needed.
yeah.
Like it knows.
Right.
It knows that I'm
It's
there.
like scan your items. I'm like, this is a banana.
Put your
Like,
item in the bag. Eric and I were at the grocery store, and he goes to the self checkout aisle, and I just looked at him. We had like a cart with a lot of things. And I looked at him and was like, "Oh hell no!" He was like, "It's fine." I was like, "See you at the car," and then I just left. I was like,
yeah, I
"No,
can't do that. I can't ever,
this
even
will
if I
break
have two
me.
items to go through that self checkout, and then it's
No."
like, take your receipt. I'm like, I don't want a receipt.
Yeah,
You
no
take it.
one wants the receipt. There's a
Stop
ticker
printing
tape
it.
of receipts. Stop. No one's taking it all
Stop.
day. It's
Stop talking
horrible.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh
And I
god,
did put
it's
my
so
item in the
bad.
bag. It's horrible. I can't
Right,
imagine.
then you have to
Okay.
pick it up and put it back in, and then it
Uh-uh.
starts flashing like you've stolen
Item
something. I'm
removed.
like,
God. It's just, and then we buy a lot of non-alcoholic beer because we're on a kick with that. And you still have to have a fucking ID for a
oh my god.
non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. This is a whole other
Oh
conversation.
my god.
And so yesterday, or I don't know, sometime before now, I have no idea what day it was. I have
That's
no clue. But
beyond you. I'm actually impressed you tried to figure that out. Good
thank
job.
you. Me too. Yeah. I thought about where I was. I was like, that was like a week ago. Anyway, some number of yesterdays ago, I was at this tiny grocery store. I was on this road trip and I'm trying just to buy some non alcoholic beer. And literally, I go to scan it and the thing starts flashing. It's like attendant needed. And I turn and I see the one person. He looks at the flashing thing and then he's like, nope, and walks away. And I was like, I need you. I can't proceed
Yeah.
without you. And it was, I'd say, not too many seconds after that I had the thought, I'm just going to take these things and go. Because, like, at this point, you walked away. I tried. I really want these things. Some of them I need because they're food items that are going to, like, I don't know, nourish my body. I'm just going to go. And I
Yeah,
don't know
like
if
I
that's,
tried to pay. I've
yeah,
been here for a long time. I can't be in here anymore. You're not helping me, so I'm just going to take these.
I'm
And if
just
you
going
want
to
to
go.
chase me out to pay, that's actually better for
Yeah,
me.
that's better
If
for
you
me.
notice I'm stealing them and then you could stop me and help me, that actually is better.
I'd be
There's
like,
been
great.
yeah, okay, thank you. They're like, you stole this. You're like, no, 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 it's part of my plan. I'm gonna pay. I just needed
Yeah,
help, and no
I
one's paying
just need
attention to
help.
me.
So I created a scene so that someone would pay attention to me. But now that we're here, I'd like to purchase these non-alcoholic
You don't need
beers.
to call
Here's
the
my ID.
cops. It's
Yeah,
a facade.
this is fine. This was just a way to get your attention. Got it.
There's been many times when I have exited a grocery store with items in my pockets or that I forgot to put in the bag that I've just stolen. And I get home and I'm like, at some point, I guess I could go pay for this. But there's been so many times because I just can't
Yeah.
remember and I don't have the bag. So all of my pockets are filled with things. It is a solvable problem. That's not the problem. I actually don't know what the problem is.
There's
because
no
I already
problem.
solved it.
You know what? In today's economy, sounds
Just
like a
my
great plan.
existence.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Is there anything else
Amazing.
about grocery stores that we should mention? I'd have no solutions for grocery stores because lists are
I,
terrible.
mhm.
I can't remember the bags. Like
Oh,
figuring out a
I
recipe. That's
I do
just
have one idea. I think
yes.
this is a great idea, which, we know we are full of. This is my newest great idea. What if there was a
Yes.
way for another human in our life to make a list for us for the grocery store, but instead of it being the things that we actually need, it's the opposite. So then,
Oh, I
yeah,
like that.
yes,
Yes.
in an oppositionally defiant way, we'd be like, "Fuck you, list.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get
Yes.
jam." And then Natalie walks out with a jar of tomato sauce.
Dude, that actually is a brilliant idea. And I think I would do that because part of it is just having somebody even to have the audacity to write down the things that I need,
Yeah, no.
regardless of whether this is for the family or not. Just the fact that you had to write things down that I need to get
Mm-mm,
is, I can't.
no,
I can't even
no.
it's ridiculous. So, yeah, if
So
I had a list that was like, just exactly the opposite. Find
mhm.
something red. I'd be like, oh, okay, I will buy a lot of red things and we'll see. I could do that. If it was more like a game,
Scavenger hunt.
a scavenger hunt.
Mm,
Yes. And then you
yes.
could get rewarded. Be like, if you find something that you like, buy it. I'd be like, oh, thank you, list, for
Oh,
seeing me and not
that's
telling me what to
great.
do. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
Brilliant.
well, developers, if you're listening out there, make this for us. That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, next problem solved. Check. Per
We're
usual,
just
you're
here
welcome, world,
solving
for our
problems.
amazing ideas. Just solving problems.
That's
You
our-
know
Well,
me
Natalie,
and
this
I'm
has
in
been
your
great.
grocery store. Please check my pockets because I might be stealing something. And I apologize because that's not the actual intention. It's just what happens.
You know what? And I think that's a perfect wraparound, too. Let's see what happens.
Oh my God. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording now. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.